And that's pretty conclusive. Still going.
As tempting as it is to go straight into Bunnings and DC, I think we'll pretty heavily talk about provincial footy for the next 45 minutes, but probably should touch on Bledisloe 1, up at Eden Park. The All Blacks, I would say, pretty comfortably walking away with one hand on the Bledisloe Cup after Saturday night's performance. I don't know about how you two are feeling. Were you ever nervous about the result at all, Paul?
No, they got out to such a huge lead that even though the Australians came back and scored the last 3 tries, they still were no chance of actually overhauling the All Blacks. Perhaps if someone had their kicking boots on, it may have been a different story. I'm sure they've worked on that over the week. But the Australians never gave up, which was good to see. I think if you're an All Black supporter, you'd be okay with the performance. It wasn't a stellar performance. They didn't put the foot down. When they had the opportunity to just absolutely wipe the Australians. So I think it was pretty much they shared the royalties from the game, I would say, even though the All Blacks came away with the win, which is the most important thing. I think, it was 50-50.
All right. Were you? Was it the same on your scorecard, Carl? Were you giving some credit to the Australians?
Definitely the last 10 minutes there to score those 3 tries like they did. Not happy from a betting point of view, to be honest.
Yeah,
at the 21-30, it was looking like a lock when Australia scored that first try. Anyway, 20 points. Oh yeah, sweet. All Blacks will score another one. We're home here. Bang bang, it's all over. I thought the All Blacks started pretty slow. They weren't doing a lot with the ball early. Took them a little while to get into it, but when they got into it, they looked pretty good. Some of the strike weapons they've got there, it's fun to watch. Yeah, started slow and finished poorly. I think. Well, I don't know about poorly, but Australia definitely finished hot.
Yeah.
Which,
pretty much wasn't until Australia scored that try off the line out to Callaway right at the end of the first half that it seemed the All Blacks really switched on.
What a try too.
Yeah, no, it
what
was
a try.
Great little move there. Came off perfectly. But yeah,
Even the no try.
Oh, that's the great tragedy of Saturday night, right? That's going to be lost to the it's not going to be one of those tries that's revisited for 50 years' time. That was, great little moment there. But unfortunately, I think there was probably 2 forward passes in the build-up, so couldn't.
They cancel each other out.
Surely. I reckon you get 1 forward pass for every 40 metres you travel. So given that try went about 94 metres along the ground, it's probably...
It looks like we're heading into a sort of a rugby AFL hybrid game here.
I'd be all for it. Yeah, no, that was but it was about probably between 25 to 30 good minutes of rugby from the All Blacks.
Yes.
Yeah. To me, it seemed like maybe the game plan early on was they knew they had the depth and the strength in the forward, so they didn't want to get too expensive and sort of made a point of wearing down the Aussies. And we did see some gaps open up around the fringes of the ruck, which Aaron Smith took very good advantage of later on in the game. So I don't know if that was a game plan or maybe they didn't have quite the connections firing out wide that they have in previous years. There were a few times I thought maybe, especially off sort of maybe second phase balls, or you had the forward pod set up and they could have gone backdoor to a back. They chose to maybe hang on to the ball and carry, and when in past years or when they had a bit more continuity, they might have chose to flank it wide earlier on. But yeah, remains to be seen if they do that on Saturday night. Now they've got another test under their belts. Was there any other red flags that you picked up on, Paul, that you think maybe Dave Rennie would have circled and said, well, could get something out of this?
I think certainly keeping the game up at a fast pace. I really thought when they kept the ball moving, kept possession, they really started to find cracks in that All Blacks defence. So I'd certainly be working on as many sort of combinations or schemes to keep the ball in play and keep moving the All Black team around. So, I thought that their reserves came on and made quite a bit of a difference.
Tolman Thor's got to get a start.
Is his best position coming off the bench when everyone's getting tired?
Oh, bring him on earlier.
He's been pretty impressive when he started test matches as well, to be fair. I don't know if that is it a scrummaging thing. Like, he's done a lot of damage in scrums and tests as well, but I don't know if maybe Rooney doesn't want him matched up against the All Black. But yeah, you think if anyone, George Bower would be maybe the one player in that All Black starting 15 you could target. So yeah, I guess it does seem to be kind of working, but yeah, you would probably like to see him out on the park for 50 minutes or so.
Yeah,
I take it you're
definitely
on the same page there, Carl.
Big fan of his work.
Were there any other areas of concern around the All Blacks game for you? Or?
No, well, the slowness, the continuity. I think we'll see a completely different All Blacks team in terms of not the team itself, but the way they play and the way they start, and probably the end result this weekend. Yeah, but like I said at the top of the show, Paul, the concern for the Australians, the kicking off the tee. I think my mate Quaid would have.
There we go.
He wouldn't have missed.
He would, because he probably would have been on the sideline for 10 to 20 minutes, cooling his feet for some indiscretion.
I think he would have had an Artie Severe-shaped bruise on his sternum that he'd been nursing as the All Blacks sort of just carried on marching down the pitch. Yeah, that would have been the biggest issue. But, we should probably give out a bit more credit as well. It was, every Bledisloe test is something we celebrated as a man who grew up in the 98 to 2002 era where we didn't have our hands on it. Who was your man of the match for the All Blacks if you had to pick one? What were the big standouts for you, Carl?
Oh, wow. Put me on the spot.
Sorry,
here.
I realised I haven't worded that quite how I did in the run sheet.
Not man of the match, but I was impressed with Rico on the wing again. Mm-hmm. Got himself in the game when he wanted, and just looked good with a bit of width and a bit of space. And yeah, disappointing to see where he is this week, but we'll get into that shortly. Yeah. I don't know.
Fair enough. How about you, Paul? What were your sort of...
Who got man of the match, you know?
I thought Aaron Smith.
Yeah, I thought I was giving you a way up there.
He was good.
I thought he had a huge game. And it was a huge game from statistically, of course, being the 100th test for the All Blacks.
Sure was.
So he did stand out to me. The sort of combination that he had between the forwards and the backs was very, very good. He was involved in a number of those long range tries / no tries.
Both the tries the All Blacks scored sort of from considered pressure. He was the one who noticed the gap, especially that second one that Damo scored in the corner. You could hear him screaming blindside, blindside, blindside before he scored it.
Very quick delivery from the ruck too. It's so good.
I don't think you need to look any further. I mean, you could maybe point your finger at Artie Severe as well, who I thought was very busy, as he always is. I guess when you play the game at such a consistently high level, sometimes you can forget about a player like Artie.
Or Aaron.
Yeah. So, yeah. Aaron Smith for mine.
Yeah. Artie Severe and Aaron Smith good at rugby. That's the sort of searing analysis you get on the Pick and Go podcast. No, it was, I'd have to say Artie was back to his dynamic best. For a man who had so many injuries during the Super Rugby season, he's shaken them up incredibly well. Yeah. How about on the other side of the ball, though? Australia obviously probably formed better than certainly the bookies thought to get within 8 of the All Blacks, even if a lot of that did come in garbage time. Was there anything that stood out about their performance to you, Carl?
Probably the fact that they did play right up until garbage time. Normally, or we've come to see in the recent past, when they're out of it, they sort of put their heads down and don't fight until the end. That'd be a big positive for them, I think, and something they'll build on heading into this week. They've essentially 21-0 up in the last 10 minutes of play or whatever it is.
And especially when you look back on the France series as well, there was the first test where they were dead and buried. All France had to do was complete a set piece, and they still managed to hustle and steal that. And then the third, get a bloke sent off in the 5th minute of a national. It's very easy to put your heads down and let a quality side like France run away with it. But Dave Rennie certainly does seem to have instilled that fighting quality amongst the Australians that maybe wasn't there in the Checker era, where they were a bit more individualistic, shall we say. I don't know what. How about you, Paul? Where did the Wallabies impress you?
I thought the bench. I thought they really picked it up when they introduced those bench players. Taniela, of course. I thought the boy Jordan was very, very good. as well late in the game. So, yeah, I thought they really got a lot of sort of energy when those players came on. So I think there's certainly a number of positives for them to take out of that game.